In this video, I'm going to teach you how to install a rack on the wall. For instance, here I have a customer that he has everything on a plywood, as you can see. It's very simple, a cable modem, switch, and everything very compact. But I like better to have everything in a rack. You're going to have better time if you have to do some troubleshooting or anything like that. So here this is my Instagram, as you can see, and if you want to see my other pictures about this, I have pictures about every shop that I have. So as you can see another type of things, another type of customers, how they have everything. So as you can see, they have a mess in most of the places, but you can install a rack with a network rack, and you can do a very good job and have everything much better organized. So as you can see here, the rack is on the side, is on the wall. It looks decent, as you can see, always with the plywood, so that way it will make your life easier to hang everything. Here, as you can see, we have another example. This is all coax. I mean, you can do it like that. I don't recommend it having everything like that, but you know, it's another way. So I like something like you see here. You know, you have a rack, and then you have everything much better organized. I want to keep scrolling up, so that way you can see. That way you can do the same type of work that I do, and you can do it yourself. You can get my computer classes. I have a network class. I have network classes in my website if you want to visit. So as you can see, you can get a plywood like I'm showing you right now. So that way it will make your life easier in the case if you have to hang it and if you have to hang something else, because if you use only if you hang it only on the drywall and you have to add something else later, maybe a second rack or something else, and you don't have the plywood, it will make your life more difficult. So it's better if you have a big piece of sheet of plywood, so that way you can have everything. So here I'm going to show you more pictures, so that way you can see. Here I have another one. For instance, they have everything on the wall. Is not decent, but you know. So the idea is that you can see that you can install everything in a rack. Here you can see more pictures if you follow me in Instagram, GabakUSA.com. This is I'm preparing the place, so that is I'm installing the plywood in that little place. As you can see, the customer, he has the cable modem on the wall. I don't like it like that, but he wanted to have it like that instead of the rack, because it's going to be more easier for them to unplug it and plug it back in, just in case. But you know, I prefer to leave everything in the rack. So here I'm recording, I'm editing the video. So as you can see, that I installed the rack and everything is looking great. So I'm going to show you step by step. As you can see, this is the software that I use to edit the videos. Alright, as you can see, 33, that is the length of that we see over there, so the way I can put it there. We are going to use the square. We're going to put this out of the way. There you go. If you have a longer square, you don't have to do this. You just do it in one side and that's it. But in this case, I have this little one. Usually for this type of little jobs, this type of square are good. So always a marker, because you're going to need it. Usually those markers, they're great. They cost like $1, but they are like you can use it in any surface, on any surface. Here I use a stud that they have over there, and that's it. Otherwise, use a G square. Now I'm going to cut it with a circular saw. So I'm going to use the box, the Ethernet cable box, as you can see, and on the other side you can just hold it with your hand, and then you can do the cutting. Always when you're cutting, make sure that you go all the way straight, and make sure that it will not get stuck in the at the end. Sometimes it will, and if that is the case, you can use the last end, the jigsaw, and that will help you to cut the last part. Or you can try to cut it, putting it on the floor like I'm doing it right now, and then as you can see, it's almost there, and then you can cut it from the other end, and that should do it. So it's pretty easy. Just make sure that you're going to hit it in the right place. There you go. That's it. Now we can put it up there. The camera didn't help me a lot, but you know, I am one man Joe. So now, all right, as you can see, perfect. Now we have to put some screws, and we should be good. All right, as you can see on the screen, you can install any type of screw for concrete, so use whatever you want. I like the third option, but if you want to use maybe the ram set is the nail gun with the gunpowder, you can use that. I didn't have that at the job. I didn't have the right charge, but that was the problem that I had. But otherwise, I will use this all day long. So at least for these type of things. Otherwise, you can use the concrete. What I did here is I put one mark here, another mark here, so that way, if you want to make like a straight line, for that we can use the little cube, the laser cube, so that we make straight lines, and we can make two holes on the top, two on the bottom, and we should be good. All right. So now that we have this here, I can put it here. Make sure that the bubble here is straight, and then you will have a straight line. You go here, you know that you're going to be good. Make a hole here. I can make another hole here if you want to. There, and then you do the same thing here. Straight line. Here. Oops. Now I'm going to grab the rotary hammer drill. It's more powerful than just the regular hammer drill. That will do the trick, and it will go way faster than if you use a regular hammer drill, like I said. So what I did is I put the plywood, and I did the hole through the plywood, so that way it's way easier to mark everything, at least the holes, and then you can put the anchor later for concrete. In this case, I didn't have anybody with me, but worst case scenario, I mean, you can do it yourself. Just I was using my head a little bit to hold it in place, but with the other hand, it's easy. I mean, it's no big deal. Otherwise, you can take measurements and do the holes where it should be on the drywall. I mean, on the concrete and on the plywood. At least to me, is better if I do it that way. I just keep it, in place. I'm holding, as you can see, holding my head to keep it in place. I make the hole, and then you can put the anchor, and then later you put the anchor, the screw, and then you can use that to help you to make the other holes. It's very easy. At least that is the minimum so the way you can keep it in place. It depends. I mean, if you have a big rack, you're going to need a help because even the rack by itself is going to be very heavy. But in this type of cabinet, rack is very, very light. As you can see, once I made the small mark, I was able to do it, and that's it. Another thing that you can do, you can use a regular drill. This is a hammer drill. It's not as powerful as the other one, but to finish up the hole, that will work, because otherwise sometimes it depends. If it's concrete, it's going to be more difficult, but if you have this, the cinder block, at least with the biggest one you can go through, and then you make a little bit bigger the hole using the other one, the regular one. At least it works for me, and I can use this. I have almost every size. So now we're going to put the plywood here, and then we use this as support, then we make the other holes, and we should be good. Okay, now we're going to make the hole, as you can see. And once I have the other screw in the other side, everything is way easier. So all you have to do, like I said before, is just making one hole, keep it in place, and then you can start making the holes in the other place. I don't have the cameraman with me, so that's why you don't see the other holes that I'm making. But that is how it is, So as you can see, even with one, I was able to keep it in place. Now I have to grab some more screws and put it. Now I'm going to remove the screw, so that way, because I did all the holes already, I made all the holes, as you can see. Now I'm going to remove the plywood, and I'm going to put the anchors on the wall, and that's it. So otherwise you can use the ram set. The good thing about the ram set is that you just shoot it, and that's it. You don't have to going up and down, grabbing anchors and all those things. You just hit it, done. That's it. Now I'm making because the drill bit that I have, it was different. The size, I had to use the other hammer drill to make the hole a little bit bigger. Otherwise, you can use the ram set, like I said before. That would make your life a lot easier. Now, as you can see in this picture, I just used the ram set in another customer to fix a handrail, but that is the way it is, so that is way easier. I didn't have any other footage about that. Alright, as you can see, I'm putting the screws back in, and that's it. So the most important thing, make sure that the screws are aiming to the right hole, and that's it. So once it's hooked in the right place, as you can see, you can start putting the other screws, and that's it. Sometimes you have to lift it up a little bit, or you have to look at in the other side, so the way you can see that the screw are going in the right place, and that's it. So as you can see, it's going all the way through, and after I hang it, I'm going to show you that I can hang myself and it will hold anything. As you can see, the plywood is on the wall, and now I have to put the rack over there, and that's it. So later we have to organize all the cables. We have to arrange cable manage. We have to do some cable management and put them all under the rack. All right, now we're going to remove the side, the doors. I mean, I like it because it's very easy. You just remove it from one side and the other just by pulling the little handle that they have in the middle or on the sides, on the corner, and that's it. They come with the manual, with the screws, and you can use the screws that come with it, with the rack, or you can use your own. In this case, I use my own. They work great. So as you can see, you can remove the front door as well, and then we are ready to mount it on the wall. So it's very easy, as you can see, very light. Now I'm going to arrange my camera a little bit. Now we're going to go up to the ladder. Like I said before, because it's not that heavy, one person is possible to lift it up. Otherwise, if you have a rack that is way heavier, you're going to need another guy. But in this case, I was able to do it just myself. As you can see, you just put some screws and that's it. So as you can see, all you have to do is just put use the marker, so that way you can put the screws, and you can use you can put the screws later. So if you want, you can add more screws on the side. As you can see, I put some extra because the paranoid is the only one who survives, and I put more screws in the back as well. So everything goes straight to the plywood. And if you have screws that are a little bit longer than the plywood that you have, you can use some spacers or some washers. Now I'm going to show you in a little bit myself hanging from this rack, so that way you can see that this can hold almost anything. So I put, like I said, screws are up and on the bottom. That's it. As you can see, everything is installed and everything looks great. Now I'm going to hang it myself, so the way you can see it, like 100 pounds very easily. Now I'm going to do the test so the way you can see it. Okay, now we're going to take it out of the box. Unboxing. This is a regular switch. It doesn't have anything special. There is no management or anything like that, like the most expensive ones. This, all you have to do is just plug it in, connect all the ports, and that's it. It's like a power strip, basically. The only bad thing about this is that it doesn't come with the ears. So if you are going to buy the threadnet like this one, you have to buy the ears separately. In Amazon, I was able to get these with the ears all together because there were some people complaining about that. That's it. So in this case, you have to put the screws, and it went very good. So there was some people complaining in the reviews that it wasn't coming with this, and I said, okay, cool, I have to get it. So you put only 4 screws in one side, on the other, and that's it. So it should come like that with the ears, but I don't know because it's something weird that you have to pay it separately. Now we're going up to on the letter. We're going to put it in place, and you have to put the nuts that you have to add in each side of the rack. In this case, there are many racks. You have to add the nuts by manually, but there you have some other racks that comes with the thread already built in, and you don't have to deal with this. But you can put it with the hands. As you can see, you put one screw, you put the other screw. That's it. It's pretty easy, simple, and fast. So in this case, the customer they didn't want to add anything else like cable management device to organize the cables. No patch panel, no nothing. So he in the beginning he wanted to have everything hanging from the wall, or maybe in a step stool or something like that. I said no, you cannot have anything like that, or it's going to be a mess. So I told him we at least we need a minimum a rack. So as you can see, I'm removing the metal plate so that way you can run all the cables under the rack. So if you want, you can use. Also, you can buy some extra, like a small brush that you can put under in that side, so that way it will keep the dust away. But in this case, like I said, customer low resources, they don't want to spend anything. So now all you have to do is running all the cables, under the rack. That's it. So that is how you can do it. It's very easily. It's very easy, and it's going to look much better than if the customer has everything hanging. The bad thing, if you don't have a patch panel, is you cannot have everything labeled, or you have to label every cable. It's no idea, but it's better than nothing. But this is how it is. But it depends on the type of customer that you have. All right, as you can see, I have all the cables. Now we are going to organize them a little bit better. But here, as you can see, it's a huge rack just for this. So now we have to put the side panels. The rack is going to look, it looks like very empty, but I was going to put everything inside. The customer didn't want it. He wanted to leave everything the way it is. That's it. But like I said before, the same way you took all the panels on the side, now you can put them back. Now you have to put them on the side. Now you have to pull and then push it, close it on the other side. Make sure that you have to give the customer the key. Also, if the customer is no good with organization or anything like that, I try to leave the key inside of the rack. But in this case, they don't have anything very expensive or anything like that, because if they have like a very expensive servers or something like that, okay, yeah, you have to keep a key. But in this case, it's just a switch. It costs $50. It doesn't make any sense to keep everything locked. So also another thing, in this case, I didn't put any ground because it's just a $50 switch. But if you have very expensive equipment, high priority servers or something like that in a big place with a lot of stuff, I would recommend you to ground everything. But like I said, in this case, it's more like a home office case. So as you can see, looking a little bit better. Always make sure that you have the bubble in the middle, so that way also everything looks, you know, straight. I took a picture here because I forgot to record some some other videos about the last part, but it's looking decent. I forgot to take another picture when I was organizing all the cables. As you can see, that on the bottom. I organized it to make it look decent, better than the way you see it right now. But at least they don't have anything hanging. So at least if you have a small customer, or if you have even a home user, someone who has a big house and they want to have everything organized, they can do something like that. It's going to look very much better than if they have everything hanging. So if you need any help, just let me know. And if you need any tools, I'm going to leave everything in the video description. I'll see you next time.